Okay. All right. The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. Think about that. The man who thinks he can and the man who thinks he can't are both right. What do you guys think that means? What do you guys get from that? See you thinking? To me, just think, the man who says, hey, I can do this. And the man who says, I can't do this. They're both right. Because the guy who doesn't believe in himself, he's never gonna achieve that goal because he's telling himself, oh, I can't do this. This is too hard. You know? This is the drive's too far. Another day. But the guy who says, you know what? I'm gonna do it. I'm sick. I don't want to be out here. But I'm still gonna try. That guy, you told me that guy is gonna get beat by the guy who's saying, I can't do it. He's too smart for me. That guy gets all A's. I'm never gonna beat him. I'm never gonna get a better grade than him. That guy runs a 5-minute mile. You'll never beat him in a race. Of course, you're never gonna beat him in a race. Because you're just telling yourself you can't beat him in a race, you know? If you tell yourself these things, like, oh, man, this guy benches 400 pounds. So strong, I've never beat him in a fight. It's never gonna happen. And I think that I've developed this mindset. It's called the growth mindset. And I think it's one of the most powerful things that us as like young people, old people, any people can have. Because it's the power of your mind. And it's the power that you give yourself. The energy that you bring to every day. It's so important. And I think having a growth mindset has given me these values and traits. Something I can get my growth mindset to is my high school I went to. But I actually went to the middle school as well. It's called High Tech High. In early as 6th grade, I got in a public elementary. I arrived at High Tech, new environment. The first things they're showing us are growth mindset and Kish. I remember I mentioned that as well. And I think it's good to start at such a young age because you're so young. You're 10 years old, 11 years old, 12 years old, and they're teaching you to fail. They're teaching you to make mistakes and they're teaching you to respond to that. And I think that's so important because most people fail and hit that wall and then decide, I'm not gonna do it. And I believe that that is the main reason why I'm here. I feel like at the beginning I had a fixed mindset, and a fixed mindset is like you don't want to grow. You're telling yourself you can't do certain things, and I had a fixed mindset in the sense of I didn't believe I could come to school. I didn't believe I wanted to go to school because I faced a lot of challenges coming out of high school. But then I was thinking to myself, why not? Why am I not doing this? Why am I not doing this? Am I afraid it's gonna be too hard? Afraid? And then I decided, I'm gonna try it. A good story that I listened to, I remembered from years ago, is Austin's Butterfly. I don't know if you guys are familiar with that. Has anyone ever? Austin's Butterfly? Okay, so a first grader, right, was tasked with drawing a butterfly, right? And he draws it exactly how you think a first grader would. Little thing, I would love to draw it, but I cannot, right? He goes back to his classmates and he shows them the butterfly, right? And they tell him, it's okay, right? Could be better though, right? So what does Austin do? Instead of Austin saying, it's okay, you know what? This shitty butterfly, it's all good, I'm gonna go home, throw my juice box, I don't gotta do this, Instead, Austin tries again, right? And he improves a little bit. A little improvement, right? And he sees, I can draw a good butterfly, So he goes back to his classmates next day. You guys should look up the story, actually. Austin's Butterfly is beautiful, right? Next day, he goes back. Maybe not next day, but some time passes. He draws a new butterfly, goes back to his classmates, and it looks a lot better than the little. Imagine just the most simplest of that, right? He goes back, massive improvements, like day and night, right? But it's still, they tell him, Austin, you're not there yet. It's good, but you're not there yet, right? And they didn't treat him like a first grader, obviously they were very nice to him and things like that, but they weren't like, it's good. You know, you don't have to stop. They told him to improve. So what does Austin do? He improves, right? And by I think it's the fourth time, he has made this beautiful butterfly that you would have thought came from some artist, right? But it's really some first grader, right? But think about how old the first grader is. I was about to say I could not draw a butterfly like that, but I could. If I put the adequate energy and time into doing it. I think the problem is people with a fixed mindset don't believe that they can improve, right? And the beauty, I think, of humans is it's not like intelligence and like, no, I mean, I feel like intelligence is not God-given. It's something that's like you develop. You know, like you develop the more you put in. The same way you put hours into that video game to get good. The same way you put hours into a sport to get good, you know, or into doing your makeup so then you're good at it, you know, like it's that same way. And when you're not putting that same attention and same energy and same focus on the things that you don't love, then the things you do love, because you're good at the things you do love, so you are capable of being amazing, right? You're capable of doing great things, because, I mean, you may be very good at soccer, right? And you're succeeding, so you're a winner already, right? But when you are tasked with something that you don't like, and you're like, this is hard, man. I don't want to do this. I'm not gonna. And then you find easy ways. You find, I got homework. I can't do it. Oh, I gotta go see my grandma. I can't do it. You know, you find these easy ways to kind of avoid something. I found this on the library. I found this good page that I liked, and it said mindset doesn't matter when things are easy. It only matters when you're faced with challenges. That working with a growth mindset influences learning. And I think that sorry. I don't like how that point ended up. I'm so sorry about that. I like the direction I was going in the whole speech, but I felt like I could have delivered that better. I'm so sorry. The person who coined this kind of term was Carol Dweck. I don't know if I said it right. She was a Stanford professor in 2006, and she basically believed that abilities can grow with effort. Because and intelligence is not something you're just born with. You know, it's something that's increased over time. But yeah, I guess.